When we are young, our brains are still developing, as well as our dreams for our career goals and our futures. It's an extremely confusing time, and most of us are very lost, including my own friend from high school. My family friend Anthony was convinced by his high school recruiter that his life in the military would be a quick and easy way for him to obtain a degree without ever seeing a moment of combat, only for him to be serving years later in Afghanistan and suffering from PTSD from signing into the military. So many children in America are coerced into giving up their young lives for our country when they cannot possibly understand the gravity of that decision. This photo is an example of the expectations that recruiters give our children of what military life will be like. While it is entirely possible that they could face the front lines and could be suffering from a traumatic disorder later in their lifetime. Too many children in America are convinced at early stages in life that if you are lost, just join the military. Recruiters give false ideas of what to expect in efforts to rope in young, vulnerable teenagers into joining their military. According to an article titled 5 Lies Recruiters Tell Recruits Joining the Military, retrieved December 7th, 2020, they visit campuses after undergoing specialized sales training to retrieve a station at said school and then use these coercion tactics to rope young, lost children into committing their lives to the military. According to the article, When Recruiting Goes Bad by Stuart Smith, published in 2019, these recruiters are given a quota. This then encourages them to exaggerate the life of a military soldier and tell half-truths in order to make a dreamlike idea of what the military will be like to rope these young children into the military life. Personal information of minors is handed over as to assist in the recruitment tactics of our children. In an article titled No Student Left Unrecruited, published in 2010, the No Child Left Behind Act allows recruiters to obtain students' personal information and will often target immigrants, students from poor families, and people of color. Referring back to the same article, the Department of Defense spends millions of dollars on a database called JAMRS. This is used to collect information on young people to assist in recruitment purposes. Our children should not be taken advantage of and not be misled in order for them to sign away their lives to our armed forces. The presence of military recruiters in the U.S. should be banned. This would give more time for teens to plan out their futures and develop before making a decision that could make them turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms. Doctors Amy Hagopian and Kathy Barker explain in the American Journal of Public Health in an article titled Should We End Military Recruiting in High School as a Matter of Child Protection and Public Health in January of 2011 that studies show that the youngest soldiers show the worst public health effects, suggesting that military service is associated with poor health for this population. Referring back to Hagopian and Barker's article, this will help substance dependence in the youth and even on our military, as younger soldiers have had 30 to 60% more substance abuse than older soldiers. Teens will no longer be misled from false information or be targeted because of their income. According to the article, Do Military Recruiters Belong in Schools, published in 2019, teens are vulnerable to being misled because they are at an impulsive stage in their development and are apt to making risky decisions and risky behaviors, and they are extremely susceptible to persuasion. Referring to the same article, the recruiters are even more vigilant with impoverished students. Data suggests that schools with lots of low-income students serve as a magnet for our military. With the ban of recruiters in our high schools, children will seek out more options and factual data before giving over their lives to our armed forces. This photo shows a poll of the statistics for binge drinking and heavy drinking in youths aged 18 to 25 for our military, which is extremely high for their age range. Military recruiters being banned would give the military the ability to save money and teens the opportunity to formulate their own future goals. The military would be able to save millions from what they would have spent on sending recruiters to schools and run databases, lessening expenses. Children would be able to seek out other opportunities and factual research on their own accord that would fulfill their dreams and goals, curating their own future and not being misled into an unwanted career. Every child deserves the truth and the opportunity to have a career that they themselves have chosen. I urge you to act quickly in helping ban recruiters from our schools. Every day that is passed is another child being misled into signing their service away. Please call the U.S. Department of Education at 1-800-872-5327 and express the importance of banning recruiters for the rights and futures of our children. For local impact, you can call California Governor Gavin Newsom at 916-445-2841 and explain why it is important that we ban military recruiters from our schools for the well-being of our children. Thank you for listening.